Get
All
it.
right. All right, people. Uh, Welcome to the Cover Zero podcast. I am your gracious host, Jay. We have two on injury reserve this week. My man KP and Tigo, they won't be with us, but you know, hey, next man up. So we're gonna go ahead and do this thing. I got my man X, our resident Jets fan. I got my man D, our resident Steeler fan, and we're pretty much gonna just take care of this right now. So first question, well, not first question, but first thing we're gonna do, let's get it off our chest. So I'll go ahead and reserve last. So X, I'll let you get it off your chest. So take it away.
Yeah. This week, this is more less so a get it off my chest and more so as like a kind of a victory lap. So like a couple of weeks ago when we talked about this, like what we were looking forward to coming up in the next week or so, I said like I think this is the week where we start to see some the NFL take shape. And since then, on that week, we had a coach fired for, I don't know, like it's some controversy around if it was his fault or the quarterback's fault. But Matt Eberflus got fired. We had a couple of teams lock up their divisions. We had some teams that got fully eliminated, including my beloved Jets in despicable fashion. And I think we're sort of really seeing like who's pulling away. And I think the picture is becoming a lot more clear now. So I just wanted to say like, yeah, that's what I thought was going to happen, and this is where we are. So I'm gonna leave it at that. I yield the rest of my time to the diehard Steelers fan.
You something else, man. My my get off my chest is really two things. It's really the first things being first is the refs. I see where I seen it, like I think it's yesterday, that now it's a possibility they may start reviewing the face mask call. And they are missing a lot of crucial calls at crucial times. I know I'm beating a dead horse with the same dead bat, but we got to do something about these officials. And when I say we, I mean I guess fans. I ain't a member of the NFL, but now you got to review face masks. You got to do this. You got to do that. Instant replays. Like I just want them to get it together because it's going to be a very, very crucial Super Bowl type of game. You're going to miss something. It's going to be, you know, heart wrenching for a fan base somewhere. The second thing, get out my chest is see where they announced a Berlin game. Like we having all these across the pond games where you pulling a home game away from some team where you're claiming it's about the fans and it's about this and it's about that and it's really about the money. And
Yep.
these overseas games, they're not paying anything. They're making me wake up early. They're making me watch the games early. They're making me, miss church. They're making me do whatever the case may be, and I just don't see any benefit in it. So that's my get off my chest.
No, I feel you. I feel you. I'm with that 100%.
Yeah.
I do want to say you should have left the refs off the discussion because KP's not here to defend his team.
You know what? That
You
is a
play.
perfect segue. That is a perfect segue, X, into how I got to get it off my chest. And just to piggyback off those referees, and I'm definitely gonna talk about the Kansas City Chiefs. And it's not really. I don't want to sound like I'm hating on them and their success. They've definitely earned everything that they have and who they are, their status and everything. But the egregious lack of calls is really starting to fester. And now there are sound bites out where players are talking to each other. And the players even know on the Chiefs team that, hey, I know I'm holding. Oh, I know I'm pushing off. Yeah, I know I'm doing that. Yeah, I know I'm pushing off. I'm hearing these sound bites on certain social media platforms. And now if the players know that the refs are letting them get away with it and they're saying this, and I know the NFL office, or at least I hope the NFL office, has wind of these things too. These things need to be addressed. And, if it's an agenda to have the Chiefs three-peat, I know you can't say it, but God Almighty, don't make it look so obvious. And that's my get off my chest, man. I just want to see good sportsmanship. I want to see the game called evenly and fair. And those Chiefs tackles, that really needs to be addressed because I'm gonna tell you right now, man. That
Tackling
bruh, hey,
tackles.
listen, Jawan Taylor, Bro, I'm telling you, man, the way he hold, you think he has some Spider-Man's power, bro. I mean, that dude will stick to you and not let go. And then his false starts. I forgot who I was talking to, but I told somebody if he got his alarm set for 8 o'clock, he getting up at 7:58. that dude is atrocious, man. And it's to the fact that where I'm seeing it real live on TV, and the line judge is not seeing it. I mean, come on, man. I'm not calling nobody a Donahue or something, but I mean, hey, we gotta do better than that. So that's my get it off my chest moment.
They wear red. He dressed like the Flash. He just moves so fast, man. That's all it is.
Y'all out of control. Y'all know KP here to defend his
I'm about to say, we'll make sure we send this to KP as soon as we get done recording.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. Yeah, I know, and I know, KP. I'm gonna give you 5 minutes to get back at me next week. I know you got something for me, so I'll be waiting on that too.
Yeah, man.
That ain't gonna be get off his chest. That's gonna be get off his whole body.
Yeah. Yes, like Ultimate Warrior Gorilla, the Ultimate Warrior
Prince. Right.
All right, fellas. So let's go ahead and move along and talk about some games that really kind of stuck out for us last week. Again, we're gonna go to my man X. Let him start out. So X, what game stuck out to you? What you want to talk about?
Yeah, so I really want to talk about the Vikings, man. That Vikings game against the Falcons. Now, granted, it is the Falcons or whatnot, but I feel like, you know, all year I've been kind of critical of the Vikings, kind of calling them a little bit of fool's gold or whatnot, you know, mainly because of their quarterback, Sam Darnold. I just don't have any faith in Sam Darnold. I always expect that he's going to turn back into that pumpkin at some point. And I mean, I think he does have his moments, but I mean, I'll tell you what, he's a ringing endorsement for Kevin O'Connell, like for him to kind of take Sam and maybe Sam is just, you know, kind of developed after, you know, being with Kyle, you know, for a year and then coming over to Kevin O'Connell. You know, maybe there is something there, but I tell you what, the Vikings have is a decision to make in the offseason because Sam Darnold's a free agent. They got JJ McCarthy in waiting. So, like, do you take McCarthy and try to flip him for a pick, or, you know, Sam signs, or, you know, risk letting Sam go? But I feel like the way getting back to that game, the way Sam played the other day, he making that a real hard decision that now, like, or maybe making it a real easy decision. Now you got to, you know, throwing 5 touchdowns. You know, you got finally Jordan Addison's kind of stepping up because, you know, Jettas hasn't been Jettas this year. Although he, you know, kind of looked a little bit more like himself this last game. So it was like everything was clicking for the Vikings there. That offense looked pretty unstoppable. And I know they just played Detroit like the week before, or I know that did they just because when they just played with Detroit. But I think, like, you know, that division is still up in the air. And I think they'll give Detroit some problems if they keep playing like that. You know, they have a running game that's, you know, it's not going to blow you away, but the fact that they can pass the way that Sam Darnold is looking so good right now and able to kind of move. And anybody who knows me knows that me talking, giving praise to Sam Darnold is
huge.
Yes, because
huge.
could not stand that dude. It's not that I couldn't stand him. I just didn't think he was. I just didn't think he was.
You're lying. You couldn't stand him.
Good. No, I'll be honest. I just didn't think he was. I couldn't stand the way people acted like he was some kind of hidden talent or so. Yeah, like hidden talent savior. Like he's like some great thing that, you know, was just waiting. I mean, he might be. I mean, he might be proving it now, you know, years later. But I mean, I'm not gonna go as far as say I'm happy for him or whatnot. But, you know, like. He showed me something. I can give respect where respect is due. And
okay,
you know, and again, the Falcons, they're not the strongest team or whatnot, but they're not, you know, pushovers. You know, they don't have a good record, but, you know, they're a better team than they were last year, fully. And I think, you know, Kirk Cousins going back up there and, you know, not being able to get that win, you know, that was. You know, I know that was painful for him to kind of like, you guys tossed me on the heap after I got hurt or whatnot. So things didn't go as planned, I'm sure, for Kurt. But yeah, I thought that was like the most exciting matchup this week. I'm sure like the Vikings saved a lot of people's fantasy season. You had Jordan Addison or Sam Darnold on your team. You likely won your game this week. So kudos to Sam Darnold and the Vikings, and I'm excited to see how this NFC North shakes out.
Well, let's not avoid the elephant in the room, or better yet, I should say the room, and that is, like you said, that's Kirk Cousins.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
It's not panning out. Like
no, it's not. No, I mean, so everybody killed them for drafting Michael Penix in round 1. I mean, they still deserve it because they paid Kirk Cousins like a small fortune. But yeah, it's looking like a better.
The turnovers, the giving the other team the opportunity with the ball to do something. I mean, that's why I'm like, let's not talk about it. And it's just not panning out, because don't get me wrong, like, you don't want to keep giving Justin Jefferson and Addison the ball over and over and over again and pretending like, know what, the Vikings are good. They are the quietest 2-loss team, and I've said it several times with the guys.
100%.
They're the quietest 2-loss team in the league. Everybody's talking about the Detroit Lions and they're talking about the Philadelphia Eagles, but I don't know how you go without talking about this Lions team. But anyway, you can't give a team like that all the opportunities that Kirk Cousins gave them. Right. And right now you have someone questioning, should we bring the kid in? Should we not? You have someone saying, should we even bring Kirk Cousins back next year? So
yeah, So asking both of y'all, what would y'all do? Would y'all sit him down and say, Penix, you get in there, or will you just ride the season out?
Well, I'm gonna say this. I really don't think you should, you should bring Penix in. I think you should finish with Kurt. I think one of the big things about Kurt, though, is that if you guys notice, Kurt can't do it all. He's not that superstar guy. He's a piece that fits in. So Bijan Robinson has to get off. When Bijan gets off, opens up play action. Now people are more open. Kurt can get in the rhythm and spread it around. But if the run game ain't happening like big time, Kurt just can't do it consistently. He has flashes. He's gonna have 1 or 2 games where he gonna look like Joe Montana, but then he gonna have 1 or 2 games where he look like Sean Hill. So, what are you gonna live and die with? You know what I mean? So, but I think for this season, just because the stakes are too high, the division's up for grabs. You gotta let Kurt finish it out, because
that's the reason, right there.
Yeah, the division's up for grabs. So you let that kid come in and he loses the division, everybody gonna put it on the kid. So you really can't do that. So let Kurt, let him go down with the ship if the ship gonna go down. So that's my thought.
Yeah, and I think, and I'm sure we'll get to this, but I that division is not looking like the pushover, like the teams of that division are making their way up. Like
Tampa's still there.
Yeah. I think because of that, I keep Kurt in, because the division is still up for grabs. The experience that he has coming from the NFC North, and knowing what it takes. Like Jay said, I mean, he knows what it takes. His mind knows, but his body can't do it anymore. So because of what he has in between his ears, you take that chance and hope, like the whole Jameis Winston type effect. You hope you don't throw picks because it's there. But like my man J-Bo, he'll give you one. So
or
that's
2.
the whole or 3, or whatever the case may be. And thank you for those last week he gave us. But whatever the case may be, you got to keep him in there for that fact. Now, you talking about once the season is over with and they possibly don't make the playoffs, and you're trying to figure out what direction to go into next year, it's probably going to be a competition in the summer. If you leave it up to me, it's going to be a competition for the summer. It's going to be best man win. It's going to be fair. I'm not just going to automatically give it to Kurt. It's going to be a competition. That's
and the tie goes to the kid.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, definitely, yeah.
So that's my thought. But no, that was a good game. That was a very interesting game. It was a go back home. It was kind of a revenge game, if you want to call it that per se, but it fizzled out really, really bad.
Yeah. Awesome. What you looking at, D? What game kind of spots you?
I want to talk about the Cowboys and the Bengals game. Let's just fast forward to the last minute and a half of the game. So,
Gotcha.
you know, every Cowboys fan I know, even my brother is Cowboy fan, everybody was absolutely like destroying the young kid who tried to grab the ball and run. I get it. It was a bad decision. It was a bad mistake. It was whatever. But as I was talking with Jay this week, true, it was a bad decision. The defense went back out on the field. You still had opportunity to stop him.
Yeah.
You did not stop him. So to number 11, walking off the field like somebody took his basketball and left the playground, and you walking off the field mad, you still had an opportunity to stop him. You had the chance with the game on the line, still with the lead at the time, need I remind you, to go out there, shut them down for probably 4 downs, because they was going to use all 4 downs to go for it. Shut them down for 4 downs, come out the field, win the game, give your team opportunity, a slim chance to still go to the playoffs. But you went out there. Not only did you like choose a bad angle on one of the best receivers, if not the best receiver, probably right behind Jefferson, you took a bad angle to the house. So like as much as the kid got criticized, come on. If you're supposed to be this guy, if you're supposed to be 11 from heaven, or if you're supposed to be, as the owner call you, Micah, he don't even want to call you Micah. If you're this guy and the rest of the defense, you go out there, you stand up for 3, possibly 4 downs, get the ball back, you win the game. Yeah. So that to me was just, you had it where you wanted to have it. And I think at this point, every Cowboys fan that we all know, whether they in your family, whether your friends or whatever, they all want to tell you every year, stay year. They all want to tell you their defense is the best. They all want to tell you this, that, and the third. They also want to blame it on Mike McCarthy. They want to blame it on everybody now. I understand blaming it on Jerry Jones, aka Mr. Burns. I get that. But
see Montgomery.
Montgomery. See Burns. I understand you want to blame it on him, but at the end of the day, you had an opportunity to win that game. So I want to know your thoughts, or both of you guys' thoughts about that game and how you felt.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. You know, there's gonna be mistakes gonna happen. Everybody says, like, you know, for the most part, games don't come down to just one play. Even if it's like a final play or something like that, there's probably 4 or 5 plays you should have made, you know, earlier in the game that could have prevented that one play from being the difference maker or whatnot. But I'm with you, like, to kill that kid over that. You know, it's nothing that, you know, again, you have these superstar players. The superstar players need to play like superstars and get your games. And that's what Chase did. That's what, you know, that's what Jordan Addison did and Jettas did last week, you know. So Micah, you know, I think, and this might be a rant for get it off my chest next week, but like, I think players nowadays in these games, they care too much about stuff that's outside of the game. Like, not saying that they can't be, you know, they can't have lives outside of the game, but like, I need my players to be like, you know, 90% focused. Like, this game is life and whatnot. And I think Micah cares a little bit too much about other stuff outside of the game. And that's why, you know, I think it's starting to show up for, not just for him, but other players as well, like outside of the, you know, off the field, shows up on the field. So, but I'm with you. I think 100% you need your players to step up. If you are building yourself as like, I'm this great defensive player, or I'm this great defensive team, your defense has to make stops. You have to answer the call when it comes time.
Okay, that's cute, X. I like you. You spared him. You spared him, and that's good. And you know what? Dallas fandom, they appreciate you for that. They do. They do. You're a good man.
See what happens, AP and Tigo, when you miss out. When you miss, your team's gonna get roasted, and you're not here to defend them.
Oh no, I'm not gonna roast the Dallas Cowboys. I'm not gonna roast the Dallas Cowboys, but I am about to roast Micah Parsons. And here's why I'm gonna roast Micah Parsons. Because number one, you say you that guy, bro. You say you that guy. Everybody talks about you how, oh, he's a generational talent. He's a generational. I haven't seen a lot of people who play like him in many generations. So no, he's not a generational talent. He's good. He's not great. Okay. You sit up around there and you pouting, you run into the locker room like Red when he got his chain snatched. Like, you need to stop, bro. Stop that. Stop that, man. You're a team captain, man. So what are you doing? But now you want to sit up there and cry. Oh. I don't see TJ Watt doing that. I don't see Myles Garrett doing that. I don't see Nick Bosa doing that. I don't see none of the people who close out games do that. But I see you doing it. Quit being a crybaby, man. Make a play. Okay. The young kid messed up on the special teams play. Could have happened to anybody. The block punt, nobody knows where the ball is. He see it, bang, bang, boom. I got the ball. No, I don't. Oh, man, I got it. No, if you that guy, number 11, go out there, take Joe Burrow to the ground. They got the worst offensive line. It ain't like they the Cowboys of the 90s or the Hogs. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like you playing Jonathan Ogden. Nah, man, you're playing one of the worst offensive lines in the league. That's your time to eat, and that's your time to shine. Nah, Michael, you need to, bro. As a matter of fact, I'd trade you. That's what I'd do. I'd trade you, and I'd put you at running back. Yeah, I'd trade Michael. Because you know what? You know why I trade you? He need a residency in Vegas. You know why? Because he has the greatest disappearing act during the playoffs, boy. I'm telling you. You can't find him. You can't find him. And if you don't believe me, pull up the numbers. I'm just being factual. We done played. I played him in the playoffs when I thought he was going to be a problem and wasn't. I've seen him in action and he wasn't. But you know who show up you know who I've seen show up in the playoffs? I've seen Myles Garrett show up in the playoffs. I've seen Nick Bosa show up in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? I've seen what TJ Watt can do. You know what I'm saying? I've seen that. So what I'm saying is, bruh, you ain't showed up in the playoffs. You ain't worth being the highest paid guy in the league. You're not. You know what I mean? So I trade him and let somebody like, no offense, X, but the Jets or somebody who's gonna give him that money, and I get some picks for him because he is fool's gold.
Yeah.
And that's my piece. And that's my piece on Michael Parsons. So you need to talk about that on your podcast. Talk about how you ran in there like you was going to tell on somebody. Man, get out of here with that nonsense, bro.
Jay, I gotta ask though. Do you have these sayings just written down somewhere? Because you just pull them out and they just like they in your pocket, like
it just
like residency in Vegas, disappearing act. Like what?
It just come to me, man. It just come to me.
I really just wish we could pull up that video of that dude walking off at the end of the game, though. That dude did like Red running to his bike. He really did look like Red running to his bike when Debo snatched his chain.
Yeah, but so I go ahead and that's my sense. So you spared him, but nah, man, we don't do that here.
I mean, okay, cool. All right. So what other things? Sorry,
I got one more game I want to talk about.
Okay, go ahead.
I want to talk about the Carolina Panthers versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Okay. I'll make this short and sweet. I watched it. It seems to me there are two things that people are talking about. Well, actually, there's one thing that people are talking about when they really should be talking about the other thing. The one thing I see everybody talking about is how the Eagles offense is not clicking. It's the passing game, the comments, AJ Brown, AJ Brown and the quarterback Jalen Hurts and all of this and doing all of that jazz and talking all that noise. But what you should be talking about really is how the Panthers are really starting to put it together, how the Panthers are really playing ball, how the Panthers are really like finding some life. And now they have an identity and now people are really playing hard. No one's talking about that. And I really think it's kind of, I'm gonna say it. It's kind of disrespectful to sit up there and talk about the Eagles' problems and they won the game when they really should have lost the game. So I'm gonna go ahead and just get y'all's thoughts on that. I personally think the Eagles are who they are. You just went up against a team who had some grit and some dog in them that week, and you almost got beat. So what's y'all's thoughts?
No, I'm with you 100%. I think like the Panthers the last few weeks, they could have won the last couple of games. They've been playing like that. They gave the Chiefs problems. Like they're like Bryce Young seems to really be putting it together now. Like that defense is playing well. Like the Chuba Hubbard's over 1,000 yards. I hate it for the kid who I think he retore his ACL this week. Jonathan Brooks. But yeah, man, I mean, like they seem to be putting it together, clicking. The coach got them, running through. I don't know what it was, but it's like it started with, when Bryce Young got benched, that team sort of galvanized itself. That first game that Andy Dalton came in, played stellar. And then for them to go back to the kid, I applaud them, to be able to do that and him actually show like, okay, I learned something over these last few weeks sitting. And, they look like, they're one, I'm not gonna say, 1 year away, but they look like, now they're ready to compete. Like you see next year, and the division ain't that strong. I mean, so a lot can change over a season. But I think they're looking good. I think they're set up for the future.
100%.
I remember it wasn't 2 years ago. It might have been 2 or 3 years ago. We played a team, and some people know the story. We played a team, and it was a very, very hard fought game. We ended up winning the game. It was really, really hard, though. It was like tooth and nail. It was last minute. It was all the way to the wire. It was one of those games, if you're a fan of, you're going to know what I'm talking about, where you won, but you feel like you escaped. You really feel like you escaped. You're like, man, I barely got through that. And that team 3 years ago was like the Detroit Lions. And then, it was like, and I said to myself, I can't remember if Jay was with me down at the bar or anybody. I was like, man, that was a hard game. Like we won, but that was like a really, really hard game.
Yeah.
I like they coming. They
from a team that you didn't really expect it from.
Right. It's like they're coming. So and it's funny. I get that same sense with Carolina. It's like you like Kansas City and Philly won, but you knew you had been in the game.
Yeah,
like it was on Patrick,
you like that's one of those.
Butt. Yeah, they was on Patrick Butt. They was on Jalen Hurts Butt. Like it was like, man, if we don't do something, we gonna lose this game. And their last few games have been like that. So if they can keep it going, they're coming. So I agree with Jay. It's like instead of talking about the problems that Philly's having, like the champagne riches, and you like, the passing game is a problem, but you're 10 or 11, whatever, in 2. Like, come on, really?
Yeah, exactly.
Let's talk about that miss, that drop. Of course, everybody saw the drop where you could have easily been, 10 and whatever. So you escaped that one, and they were really on you, and they were giving you problems. And everybody's talking about the Eagles, and the Eagles got a little gauntlet like they had Carolina ain't count on. They got us this week. I don't know what the game's going to turn out. I know GP is not playing. I don't know what it's going to be like, but you're pretty much going to know you're in a fight with us. And they have some issues they really need to work out, because to me, you have clear-cut Detroit here. You have the Vikings here. And then you got Philly here. Everybody's talking about Saquon. It kind of go back to the discussion we had a couple weeks ago. Should Saquon be MVP? These are the reasons why I feel like he shouldn't have been, because if it's truly the case and he's truly that much of a difference, you're not having this squabbling and all this other stuff. You're not struggling with Kevin. You're not doing any of that stuff.
I might challenge that a little bit. It might be the fact that the running game is so successful that AJ Brown. I mean, and I don't really know why AJ Brown complaining. Like he was killing it at the beginning of the year. All of a sudden, the running game starts taking off, and now all of a sudden he got problems with Jalen Hurts or whatnot. But no, I'm absolutely like put some respect on the Panthers' name right now, because they're building themselves up, and these teams fight hard. I know a lot of times you like to say, "Oh, did this so and so team lose it?" Or even though the Eagles won, you saying, "Oh, the Eagles struggled." No, the Eagles didn't struggle. The Panthers gave them a struggle. The Panthers, fought them.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say this too, AJ Brown. What he got to understand is you missed some time, bro. You missed some time. Yeah. So while you was out, Saquon and the boys, they was holding it down. So, I please understand, you can't just come in and then now everybody going to you. We got to keep doing what we was doing to get this thing where it's at. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, dude, just be happy that y'all winning. You know what I mean? If it comes down to it, just be the dude that you are. Just make plays when they come to you.
Yeah, no.
Sacrifices. It's only one ball.
Right.
That's it.
It's only one ball. So, it's sacrifices.
Yeah, I mean, everybody wants to get paid more than they want to, be cemented in glory. So that's cool. One more thing, like while we touched on last week, and I know this happened like a couple of weeks ago, but since we last recorded, the hit on Trevor Lawrence. How do you guys feel about that? Like, what was your thoughts on that? Like, dirty or clean? Is like a because I see a lot of people talk about bang bang play, and there's things changing in the league. But I want to get your thoughts on the Azeez Al-Shaair. And he got suspended, right? Like 3 games.
Yeah. The hit to me was fine. What was not fine was the forearm.
Mm-hmm.
That's the part that made it. Is the forearm and his past behavior. Yeah. So I ain't even gonna bring up the past behavior because whatever. But it was the forearm was the hit. For the most part, it wasn't bang bang. But when he threw his forearm in, if you go back and look at it, once he put his forearm there and pushed out, to me that's what got him.
Yeah.
And so for me, the thing is, like, it's hard to I think they're gonna look at some things when it comes to like quarterback sliding in the offseason. I get it. Like some of these quarterbacks fake slide or whatnot. Kenny Pickett's famous for doing it back at Pittsburgh in college. But no, I mean, even with that, like the as low as he went, it kind of looked like he could see him sliding. And so that's why, like, that my feeling was like, like he saw the slide, and unless he was trying to like take out Trevor Lawrence's legs, I don't know. It was just a weird like angle for him to have hit him, and then like you said, like the forearm, like right up towards the head, like and again, you don't want to look at past behavior, but you got to sometimes, and I think the past behavior is really what factored into that 3-game suspension. But yeah, to me, I think as hard as it is to, because I play football, it's kind of bang bang league or whatnot. But I think there are some circumstances.
It's fast, man. It's fast.
Yeah. I think there's some circumstances where you can see like, okay, I need to kind of pull up, not necessarily pull up, like don't make the tackle, but kind of like I've seen it. Actually saw it in one of the other games this week. Quarterback sliding, the guy's going to make a tackle, and rather than like force it, like he sees him slide, he kind of pulls up at the last moment, but and just like sort of like tap the quarterback or whatnot, So yeah.
I think what they're going to do is they're going to tell. I mean, really, what it is as a defender, I can't sit up there and I don't have brakes like a car.
Yeah,
I can't. Well, if I'm committing and if I'm driving and committing to a tackle on a quarterback, if he hasn't committed to the slide yet, I'm not pulling off. But if he commits to the slide at the very last minute, that's the chance he takes of getting hit like that. So what I think needs to happen is the quarterbacks, they need to really say, hey man, if you don't want to get hit or concussed or knocked out or whatever, you need to commit to the slide quicker. You see the dude coming at you. Commit to the slide. Don't be like, oh, there's a first down. There's him. I hope I can make it to the first down. I'm gonna slide. Well, you run the risk of getting knocked out.
Yeah.
So once you see that defender, get down. So
I don't think it's a fix for it because it's not 10 on 11.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody out there is free game to get hit except the quarterback. So you're telling the quarterback to make a judgment call of this guy is however many yards away I need to slide. But if that first down mark is there and it's the fourth quarter and it's 2 minutes, I'm not sliding. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing it. So I'm not asking the same way I'm not asking. Right. The same way I'm not asking. The same way I'm not asking the defender to think and make sure you hit him between here and here. I'm not asking him to like make a commitment 5 yards in, decide you're gonna slide. No, you take off running. You need to act like a football player. Either put your head down, run out of bounds, or something. But you are a football player. You don't have the red shirt on. You're not done.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, no.
100%.
I think I thought they tried to fix it when they changed the rule. I don't remember how many years back where they said you're gonna get marked down where you initiate the slide versus where you end up on the slides to kind of prevent that, like, oh, I need to try to get the first down to kind of like, you should be able to make that judgment there or not. But it might have made the problem worse, It's almost safer to dive, to be honest, for that first down, like depending on where you are. All right, so I think that was good.
One last thing, it's almost safer if a quarterback take off, you just better run toward out of bounds.
Right? No, agreed.
Straight out of bounds. Don't think about running down.
You don't want to get hit.
Don't think about running downfield. Just run straight to the sideline.
On that there was some something I read or maybe saw last week. I think it was Dan Campbell said, like, I don't remember which quarterback it was, but they're like, this quarterback likes to run towards the sideline and come back in. And if he tries to do that, you hit him, blow him up. Like he told his defender that. I don't remember what quarterback it was. I want to say it was Mahomes, but I don't think it was Mahomes. It was someone else. Might have been Hurts. I can't remember. But all right, let's go ahead and move on to what we're looking forward to this coming week. So what you guys looking at? We'll start with Jay.
All right. Well, games that I'm looking at next week. I'm looking at the Cowboys versus the Carolina Panthers. The reason I'm looking at this matchup is because the last 2 weeks the Carolina Panthers have played great. You know, the Cowboys are just the defense they need to feel really good about themselves. Micah Parsons, you're playing a rookie quarterback. So you're not playing Joe Burrow this time. So you should be able to do what you are capable of doing and taking over that game. And really what I want to know, what I'm looking forward to is the end. Because if the Cowboys win and the Panthers lose, that'll be cool. But if the Panthers win and the Cowboys lose, now I want to see the responses from the Cowboys, most importantly, Micah and Mr. C. Montgomery Burns, and see what you're going to say about that. And I'll be real excited to have Bryce Young really get a win on a big stage playing the Cowboys to boost his confidence going into next season. So that'll be good for the Panthers. But I really want to see how those Cowboys are going to respond, knowing that, you know, they're pretty much eliminated from the playoffs. But I want to see how they're going to respond now. Are they just going to lay down and be like, the season's over, we're just going to be out here just putting some stuff on tape for next year? Or are we really trying to fight and we ain't going to go out like no punks? So that's what I'm looking forward to seeing.
Yeah, I know what you meant, but, you know, Bryce ain't a rookie. He's second year, although it feels like
second year. I'm sorry. Yeah.
You're right. I know what you meant.
Right. Sorry.
It is interesting to see what's going to happen in that game. Seeing if the Cowboys are going to pretty much, as you said, have any dog left. See if they're going to come out and show any fight. See if are they going to fight for either A, the pride, B, possibly their coach, although I realize some of them don't respect the coach, or C, for that raggedy A star on the side of their helmet. I don't know, but it's very interesting to see what they're gonna come out with. And as far as Carolina, I keep hearing people, because we are located, you know, in North Carolina, I keep hearing people saying, well, you know, the Panthers don't do this, the Panthers ain't doing that. You know, this crowd, you know, around home is like they want immediate. They want the Chiefs, or they want Detroit, and you got to build from something. So know what you have, see what you've been seeing the last 2 weeks. So I'm very interested to see if they're going to keep that momentum going and kind of see how that's going to play out. Because, you know, you got some guys trying to build on something. You probably got a pretty good draft pick. What you going to do with it? You know, you're going to sit down, you're going to mess it up. Because here's the thing, Tampa been minding his business.
Right.
He been out the limelight. He ain't been throwing drinks at nobody like some chicken club. He ain't been doing none of that. He been chilling. He been letting people coach, and he been staying out the way. Now what you gonna do? What you gonna say the problem is? So I'm interested in seeing that myself.
Yeah, it'd be nice if other owners would learn that.
Oh, here you go. Here you go.
I had to throw one in there. I had to throw one in there.
Come back to the Jets. Here we go.
I had to throw one in there. Go ahead.
Now you'll kill with it, ain't he?
Look here. He got to get it
in. No. So I'll talk about the game I'm looking forward to. And it's probably going to be what's the word I'm looking for?
Slobber knocker. Jim Ross.
No, but it's a cliche. You know, I want to see these two powerhouses right now. Although the Bills lost last week, but you know they're playing against the Lions. I want to see that game. I'm looking forward to that game. You know, seeing. I think this is one of the biggest challenges the Lions have had so far. You know, and I want to see how they stand up to the Bills because I think the Bills are a good team as much as it pains me to say. You know, and then I want to see how the Bills bounce back. I want to see if Josh Allen kind of continues the thing. You know, earlier in last week talked about like my two front runners for MVP were Saquon and Lamar, but now I'm starting to lean towards Josh Allen a little bit.
There you go.
So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. You know, I think this will go a long way. This could be a potential Super Bowl matchup. And I'm excited to see how that game plays out. It'll be I'm hoping for, you know, a big shootout game. Either one of two options I want. I want either a super shootout, like where we like the over under is at 90 points, or I want to see one team like put on a defensive just juggernaut like showing where they just completely shut down the other team. Yep. No in between.
I'll let you comment on that, Jim.
Okay, I'm gonna speak. Let me speak on that. So first off, I'm gonna go ahead and give props where props due. I'm not a hater or anything like that. Right now, Josh Allen is MVP. That's 100%, bro. He's MVP. He's playing at an awesome level. Turnovers are down. He's playing amazing. Got to give him props, you know, because when you playing horrible, I'm gonna call you out on it. But when you're playing great, I'm gonna call you out on it too. I'm gonna give you props. But I will say that. I will say this, that they defensive line need doorknobs and welcome mats behind them because they run game is terrible. They can't stop the run at all. I mean, it's really bad. And you about to play a Lions team that's got that two-headed monster back there. You need to get that fixed, and you need to get that fixed fast. Because as good as Josh Allen is, one thing we have learned that when it's put on Josh's shoulders, that's when stuff goes wrong. Because, hey, man, he need everybody. He need that defense to help him out and limit those opportunities for other teams. And those shootouts, you know, sometimes to me, I don't think Josh can really win the shootout game because as good as Amari Cooper is, man, you need some studs to make amazing plays late in the game. And I'm not saying Amari can't make them, but that pressure, you know what I mean? And when Josh has pressure, that's when picks come. So they really need to stop. They really need to find that run defense. They got to do something about that. But Super Bowl matchup, I'll pretty much say that's definitely a potential Super Bowl matchup. We'll probably see that. But Josh Allen for MVP, but that run game, that thing is trash. They need to fix that.
Yeah. All right. I would probably say there's obvious. There's no reason to state the Lions against the Buffalo. There's no reason to state the Steelers against the Eagles. Everybody's going to be watching those games. Yeah. The one that kind of has my attention is everybody. I ain't gonna say everybody, but a lot of people were talking about these two teams at the beginning of the year, and they had a lot of attention on them. And right now, it's kind of fizzled out. So it's a game. I feel like whoever wins this game, the national media is going to jump back on their bandwagon. And that's the Dolphins against the Texans. It's just one of those games where everybody's talking about, you know, the year started CJ Stroud and the Texans and this, that. Oh, they got this person. They went and got that person. They got all these weaponries. And it was like, man, the Chiefs better be worried about them. And then with the Dolphins, it was like, you know, they got all the speed, they got the this, they got the that, and Tua's back there, and he's not concussed. He played the whole season, and so forth and so on. But as we know, as the season has went on, how both of them have kind of fared. So I feel like I'm watching that from an AFC perspective because it kind of got my attention because I feel like whoever wins this game may be gaining a little bit momentum. Now, not so much to say if the Dolphins win, they're going to win the AFC East because that's very difficult to do.
I think the Bills already locked it up. So
So and then you got the Texans down there. They're probably going to win that. But as far as going into the playoffs and a playoff picture, that game is pivotal to me because they may start to ride that wave to see how far it can go. And I got my eye on that game to kind of watch that. So I'm looking forward to that and just curious what you guys think about that.
Yeah, I felt like the Dolphins were kind of I don't feel like people were as high on the Dolphins this year as they were maybe last year. Deservedly so though. I don't think if you look at like how they've been playing, like Tyreek Hill hasn't been, outside of this last week, but he hasn't been getting like the 100-yard games, and they haven't really been killing it or lighting it up.
Call Drew twin. Call Drew.
Yeah, maybe that messed them up.
Yeah, I guess you need to call Drew twin.
Right. But no, I mean, I think for Houston, yeah, definitely. I think like especially at the beginning of the year, they were kind of squeaking by a lot of games. They were winning those close games, but they did not look dominant. CJ Stroud doesn't look like he did last year. I think either the league. I know Davion likes to say this a lot. The league done caught on to him. Like you're not sneaking up on anybody this year. But it is kind of surprising, like all of the weapons that they did have that they added in. They had this super receiving core with Nico and Diggs and Tank Dell and then they added Mixon and Mixon was carrying them for a little bit there. And then so like defensively, I just think they're kind of middle of the pack, not really doing anything. I'll say I expect the Texans to win, just because I think the Dolphins got some issues. But no, I think you're absolutely right. I think this does I think the Texans win this game. People do start coming back to the bandwagon saying, okay, how far the Texans go. But if you're looking at the playoff picture, I don't think they stand a chance against like a KC or a KC or even like the Chargers. I think the Chargers are a better team this year than Houston, and they're not getting past like a Buffalo team. So yeah, I think even if they make the playoffs, they're going out first round.
Yeah, good stuff, X. I think what this is this is the expectation bowl. Yeah. What I mean by that is everybody had high expectations for Miami. Everybody had high expectations for Houston, especially after the offseason. Now, I will say this. Houston gained a lot in the offseason, but the Dolphins lost a lot in the offseason.
Yeah.
Losing Christian Wilkins, I believe that's his name.
Yeah.
Christian Wilkins from Clemson.
Yep.
Yeah. That turned out to be very, very huge. I didn't think they were going to miss that guy like they missed him. And I really think Miami, in order for them to get back to even being a contender like that, first is health, two is health. That does matter. Mm-hmm. And secondly, they really got to do something with that defensive front. Jalen Phillips, I believe he got hurt again this year too. Did he? I don't know what the injury is, but I know he missed a significant time, and I know he tore his Achilles last season too. So they really got a couple
tackles out too on the offensive line.
So you really got to get that fixed, protect Tua, and that way he can get the ball to Tyreek and those playmakers. Now with Houston, expectations really should be the same. I mean, they finished 10-7 last year. They're 8-5 right now. Your premier addition, Stephon Diggs, has gone down. So offensively, you do got Nico Collins, you got Tank Dell. Excuse me. But you did add a monster in Joe Mixon. So if there's one thing I will say is that, if the Texans make it to the offseason, because it's not in stone, I don't think they don't won the South yet. I think it's going to really be on the back of Joe Mixon rather than CJ Stroud. And I think that's a big reason why they probably went out and got Joe Mixon, is to help out CJ Stroud. So, I'll be looking forward to it. Whoever wins this game, if the Dolphins win, they're pretty much everybody's going to be talking about, okay, are the Dolphins poised for a playoff push? And are the Texans for real? If the Texans win, hey, are they going into the playoffs hot, or was this a good win? Things of that nature. So that is an interesting game, to see if everybody meeting expectations.
Yeah. No, one other team. We're talking about expectations that kind of surpassed my expectations. Denver and Bo Nix. Ooh. Man, they look good. Man, I just thought they were going to be another dumpster fire this year, but they got the same record as Houston. I'd take them over Houston right now.
Well, like you
Sean
said,
Payne got the boys cooking,
and like you said, and to people watching the podcast, when X mentioned me and quarterbacks, I have this whole notion with rookie quarterbacks. There's no film on them the first year, so they come in, they surprise you. The second year, you have that defensive coordinator that sits in the basement all summer with no windows, and he studies you, and he comes out and he prepares for you. And then your second year starts to look similar to CJ Stroud and similar to some other, sophomore quarterbacks. And then that third year, I feel like you're going to respond to what the league and the defense has done to you. So
Yeah.
to me, I'm gonna see what kind of person you are in that third year, because you probably should start to shine that year, and the game should start to slow down for you a little bit, a whole lot, as a matter of fact. So that's the comment that he meant by that for all of, all the fans watching. But so all that to say, to tie back into the Denver thing, right? He's a surprise. They're doing really well, but you know me, I don't know what you're gonna get in Bo Nix next year.
No, you're right. No. Yeah, I'm not crowning him or anything. I'm just saying for right now he looked good.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I mean, he looked better than Kenny Pickett. He did.
Hey, yeah. Look at that. Kenny
Proud
Pickett
of
got 2
Pittsburgh,
mentions. Kenny Pickett got 2 mentions on the show this week.
Whatever, man. You know what?
Hey, all right.
I hope we put Jalen Hurts out and he come in the game.
Don't know.
Yeah, we done spoke his name up twice. One more, he like Candyman. You say his name again, he might show up.
Kenny Pickett. Let me see if he show up, because I guarantee you we'll win if he in the game. But anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead to the next segment, man.
No, good. All right. So lastly, before we go, we talked about a potential Super Bowl matchup in the Lions and Bills. What are let's do 3, one each potential Super Bowl matchup that you think. We'll exclude the Lions and Bills because that one was kind of already talked about. But what's another one that you think that you feel strongly about?
Well, dag, man.
All right. If you want to elaborate on the Lions and Bills, you feel really passionate about that, go ahead.
You're right. I'm not buying. Although they're the quietest 2-loss team, I'm really not buying Minnesota, because I feel like you're right. Your boy gonna turn into a pumpkin sooner or later. I mean, Kansas City. I think I read a stat today. They are one score victory away from tying the 2022 Vikings with 1 score victories.
Yeah.
So the same way that happened with the Vikings. You are really riding a tightrope. So I don't even know about Kansas City. Of course, people say I'm going to take the Steelers. We have some issues we got to work out. We got to score in the red zone. I don't know. If we figure out that red zone thing, I feel much better about us. So with all that being said, as far as the AFC go, I mean, you have the Bills. You have to be honest with you, the Chargers can be a very, very scary team because they don't have a solid star. They play together as a team.
Yeah.
So I'll say this, instead of a Super Bowl matchup, I'll say a Super Bowl sleeper matchup. With me would be like the Chargers against I'll probably say the Chargers against, although I said I wouldn't pick them, the Chargers against the Vikings. That's a sleeper Super Bowl matchup because that's just coming from out of left field.
Okay, I'm glad you said that because my pick is a sleeper pick and it's going to feel like it comes out of left field, but I just had this strong feeling about this. I feel like we're going to get a rematch of Super Bowl 45. I feel like Green Bay versus Steelers might be the pick. I just feel like this sneaky kind of thing, like universal lining for Green Bay to come in and get another Super Bowl, to kind of cement that whole, like they just luck into some things. Like it just feels that way. I mean, I know they haven't been playing their best the last couple of weeks, but something in me is calling for that. And then I think the Steelers, they're sneaky good. Tomlin right now, like if I could throw like 6 first-round picks at you guys, get Mike Tomlin, trade for Mike Tomlin. Man.
Oh God.
Yeah, I mean, well,
I get it. Next week.
Okay, Mike Dicker.
Right. This whole Ricky Williams, Herschel Walker type trade, but okay.
No, seriously though, like I mean, if there's like a coach that I would trade, like be okay with trading picks for, it would be Mike Tomlin and Andy Reid. But that'd probably be it. At least trading the first-round pick for, I'd say.
Yeah, Mike has gained a lot of notoriety. Well, I call him Deep Cover, Coach Deep Cover. He's gained a lot of notoriety because of this whole Hard Knocks thing. But you've had people like,
I mean, but yeah, no, like he's been for years. You guys haven't had a losing record the whole time he's been there. He's like winning with like Russell Wilson, like not to say like, yeah, I mean like he's getting the best out of the players that he has. Every time you expecting them to be a little bit, less than, like, he out here showing out.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
So yeah, so that's why I think I don't know. So the sneaky matchup might be the Packers versus Steelers.
Hope it's a different outcome.
I bet you do.
And I'm gonna segue and say I hope it's not. But I'll go ahead and give my pick. I'll start in the NFC. I think between Detroit and Philly, I think it depends on those defenses, who can stop each other's run game. I think that's really what it's going to come to. I know the Lions got a lot of injuries right now, some key areas, but they still playing as a team. They're still playing hard, still playing with a lot of grit. But if I had to take it right now, I believe in the Lions before I believe in Philly. So I'm gonna go ahead and take those Lions out of the NFC because I seen them boys play, and I seen them boys play us last year, and I ain't even gonna lie. We had football gods on our side. I'll be the first to admit. So yeah, those Lions, I think they're poised and ready to make a push. In the AFC, gosh, it pains me. It pains me to say. It pains me to say.
Don't say it too loud.
Reason I got to go black and gold. Reason I got to go black and yellow, black and gold. I don't know what color it is. I don't want to disrespect nobody.
I got it. We know.
But the reason I say that is because you got Russell Wilson. You got Russell Wilson, who's pretty much playing at a high level. Tomlin, and which is no surprise, he got those guys ready to play. But the thing that really sticks out to me are two players, and that is Highsmith and TJ Watt. I mean, them boys on defense are some freaking closers, man. And in the playoffs, that's what you're going to need, because you're going to play Josh Allen. You're going to play Patrick Mahomes. You're going to play Lamar Jackson. And, there's going to be some opportunities and some times where it's in the fourth quarter, 4 minutes to go, and those guys are going to be driving. And can you get them off the field? And I believe right now, if I look at everybody else's defense, that defensive line is the one I trust the most. So I got to go with them. I know the offense can put up some points and they can do some things, and just the way they played. I mean, George Pickens. I mean, I'm gonna call him Thug Nasty. That cat, he makes some unbelievable
catches.
Thug Nasty. Thug Nasty makes some unbelievable catches, man, and he make them, and they big time. Big time. Yeah. And if you had to pick one weakness, I say, JPJ got to get a little better. You know what I'm saying? He probably gonna get you a flag or two every now and again.
Or three.
But man, that's or three. Just hopefully he give it to you in the first quarter rather than the fourth. But yeah, man. I mean, that's really what it is. Now that outcome, I hope the Lions run them down their throat, and I hope the Lions run them down their throat, man. Yes. When it comes to Steelers, and do you notice? If I have to be that guy that was shooting at Trump and go to the Super Bowl,
Jesus!
Now let me stop. Man. I'm just playing. I'm just playing.
Bro.
I'm just playing. But I will say this. Hey, I will Michael Jordan Salt Lake City you. Now I will do that.
First of all, you got to give context to the people, because this inside jokes that they don't know. So tell them the reason why you don't want us to win.
All right, man. It's all about the ring chase. So right now they sitting at 6. We done had we done had opportunities to catch and pass them.
Yeah, was that 3?
Miserably.
You've had 3, right?
So
yeah, Baltimore, and then KC twice.
3. Baltimore and KC twice, and have failed miserably. And when it comes to ring chasing, I need that big joker move back in my favor. I had it. I swear I had that big joker for a little bit, man. I had it. Well, actually, I had it for just 1 year, and then Dallas gonna win 5. Yeah, man. Yeah. So that's basically all it is, man. If they win it, hey, more power to them. You know what I'm saying? So they have 4, we didn't have any, and we passed them. So hopefully we can do it again. I don't know, but that's pretty much it, man. It's all love, though. It's all love.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Any final thoughts before we go ahead and close this out?
Yo, get KP.
Don't have anything.
Get KP and Tigo up into reserve. Get them dudes back, because I can tell you right now, I'm already a week in advance giving my get it off my chest to one of them two, because the whole time is gonna go to them. I already know it's gonna be responsive back from KP.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna take it one step further.
I'm
gonna take it one step further. I think the Browns. I think Jameson get it done this week. I think they take out KC. I think they give KC loss number 2 this week at a complete underdog. I have a feeling. Nah, you say that, but he be slinging that thing. Man, he can sling it into a win.
You're talking like you got cloud of urine, bro. I don't think so.
Yeah. You really are.
We'll see. Hey, look, upsets happen. Upsets happen all the time. We'll see.
Yeah, James gonna throw about 5 interceptions
easily. Like,
now he gonna throw 5 touchdowns, but he gonna throw 5 interceptions too.
Come on, man. But I get you're going for, you know what? It's almost like we have, what do they call them on like ESPN or whatnot when you bet
bowl predictions.
Yeah, you trying to catch somebody.
Yeah,
we'll see.
So you trying to make that bowl prediction.
Look, I'm giving KP more ammunition when he get back.
I'm sorry. I meant that all went over my head. Okay, I'm sorry. You know what? I'm sorry. That went all over my head. Yeah.
I missed that all up.
Like I said, he got my get on my chest. And all Tigo gonna do is if they come back after a possible loss to Carolina, that dude gonna need 10 minutes straight to talk about the Cowboys.
Yeah, we might just make this a get it off my chest episode.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm gonna sit back. I don't know about Jay and you. I'm gonna just sit back. As a matter of fact, I might even take out my headphones and turn on my mic.
Yeah.
I just need a bucket of popcorn.
All right.
Yeah, I'll let you close it out, man.
Yeah, Jay, you want to close this out?
All right, absolutely. So good show, fellas. Certainly appreciate the talk, appreciate the content. So that'll wrap up another episode of Cover Zero Podcast. You can definitely find us on.
You can find us at the Cover Zero YouTube page or the X Skateboarder Media YouTube page. We'll go ahead and be there. We're looking forward to starting a live show so we can interact with the fans live. Tell your friends, tell everybody about us. More people we can get watching, the bigger we become. And the more interaction we can get. So, you can find us there.
All right. Well, I appreciate it, folks. And we'll see y'all next week. Signing off.
Holla.